Hello everybody. Alright, so still been working on this, playing around and exploring the back EMF from my garage, or the inline ground reclamation. Brought it to, I can bring the potential voltage up to over 50 volts. Actually, I can get it close to 70 volts right now, and then I could probably get it even higher if I can get the balance between, if I could get the wattage correct and get the balance between the amperage and the current. I could run it through an exciter, Slayer exciter circuit, or something along those lines, which I'll probably experiment with. But right now, I basically just have it going into a full wave bridge rectifier into a Joule Thief, but then I made it a 3-phase. I added basically a solenoid coil through the center, and plugged one. It's a double positive, so one's feeding right back into the bridge rectifier positive in, and I guess you would call it in. And then the other one is back in this voltage doubler I have with these germanium diodes, a simple voltage doubler. It's feeding the positive end of the voltage doubler. And then I have a 3904, a 2N3904 transistor, really low value transistor to kind of get this thing firing. And there we go. There's my pretty bright. So there's enough to light up a flashlight if you influence the potential differences properly and bring up the current. Now the idea of having the doubler is I'm going to try to charge up this ultra cap by sending out packets once it hits a certain voltage, and I'm still kind of trying to experiment with a way to do that. One way is, a couple ways I've thought of is like a relay set up to a buffer cap, or even trying to use I could try to use a timer. If I had an Arduino, it'd be much easier because I could just use I could just use the micro chipsets in there to kind of control it, but I don't. So maybe I should invest in one of those eventually. But there's obviously a learning curve involved in that because I've never played with one of those. But what else was I gonna go into? Basically, I'm gonna try to just dump this voltage doubler circuit, or I guess it's a charge pump. So there's a few names for it, and dump it into a cap. Now I thought about using a voltage regulator, but there's heat involved and there's losses, and I'm trying to really conserve as much as possible. That's why you see there's no potentiometer in here right now. There's no resistors at all, because I'm trying to conserve as much as possible, which can be dangerous for this LED. I could blow the LED, but I'm trying to conserve the energy as much as possible, since I'm reclaiming it in the first place. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. And that's all I can say. This is just a little buffer on the way in, and it really doesn't do anything. I just thought it looked cool there. But yeah, if anybody has any suggestions on how I can dump these caps into this larger ultra cap efficiently, maybe bring it up to, let's see, if I have to do the math, a 470 ultra farad, so at 10 volts, I'd be happy with getting it to the 10 volt range, and then dumping it. And here, I'll pull the load off. As you can see, we're at, it's slowly going down. It'll hit a certain bottom out, and then it'll stay there as it's drawing directly from the mains. But the LED will get a little bit weaker. I'm sure it will get a little bit weaker. But if I pull it, which is what I'm doing right now, you can see, and then she charges up pretty quick. And once it hits about 10 volts is when it's currently the way I have it. Once it hits about 10 volts, it will kind of cap out 10, 40, something like that. So when it hits 10 volts, bam, I dump it. So it would be a slow pulse into the capacitor, but it would beat trying to. There we go, leveled out about 1040. Yeah, whatever. It'd beat trying to trickle charge this capacitor with the resistances in this capacitor, because the way they build these, they try to mimic the D cell, only the duty cycle on it is like, you know, or the full charge and full discharge on them is like in the hundreds of thousands, rather than, you know, whatever a D cell is. I don't know, tens of thousands or something like that. I don't know, something like that. I'm just making numbers up, but so that's pretty much what I've been working on. If anybody has any suggestions, please feel free. I could use all the help I could get, but it'd be sweet if I had the money. I'd go visit some people and really try to brainstorm and come up with new ideas. It'd be fun to spitball with people. So feel free to share. Thank you so much for watching. Adios. Also, I'd like to say one more thing. Keep in mind that when I did the math, we have 50 volts AC coming in, and I think on my last video I did an amp draw, and we were drawing about 40 milliamp. So 50 times 40, that gets 40 milliamp. That'd be 0.040, I believe. So that'd be 2 watts. We get 2 watts of power. Not a whole lot, but but still 2 watts. So there we go. Maybe give or take. So we'll go on the low end and we'll say we'll get 1 watt. So this falls into like a 1 watt challenge, like a certain German friend I have. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. Once again, adios.